Hey everybody, Sean Bukowski here. Hope you're all having a great weekend. I want to talk to you this week about disputes. Look, the real estate market's rough out there, right? And as a result, in times like these, litigation becomes more popular. And one of the areas we're seeing a fair amount of are just boundary disputes, and that can be from a lot of different ways, whether that's because of a surveying error or missing deeds or just encroachments, which happen all the time. We're seeing a lot more of those disputes between neighbors over boundaries encroaching on each other's property. Especially this can be issues for anybody from the residential householder to a developer who's got some issues with what they're trying to develop. And it's really important to kind of figure out what you want to do. First of all, there's steps you can take to make sure that you kind of avoid those at the beginning. And that's when you're buying the property, certainly have a lawyer look over your title docs. That's going to be super important. Conduct that thorough search and realize where your boundaries are, and make sure that there's no issues with it. But then sometimes even with those precautions, you might have a dispute pop up. And there's a few things you can do. First of all, we always recommend call your title company first, because you bought that title insurance for a reason. And if there's an issue with the boundaries that title insurance didn't catch, then they're going to have to indemnify you or represent you. Otherwise, look, we always say get a lawyer involved early, because these disputes, they can turn ugly. We're going to try to avoid that. Talk to your neighbor. We're going to try to avoid that through open communication with your neighbor, seeing if you can come to some kind of agreement or an easement or something like that to resolve the issue amicably, because that's always the best way to do things, is to try to resolve these issues amicably at the beginning. And then if you can't, it's always, we're litigators in real estate, but we always say that litigation is the last resort. You don't want to go, and nobody wants to go into litigation because it's costly and it takes a while. But it is the last resort. And there's different types of suits you can file if you have to basically quiet title or to show that you are the record owner. And again, it's potentially your title insurance's obligation to do so for you. But if not, then you can file your own lawsuit and go from there. And obviously, at that point, you're in a lawsuit to try to quiet title, and that can get ugly and be prolonged. But sometimes it has to happen, and especially in times like these that we're in now. So if you have any questions, let me know. Please reach out to Bukowski Law Firm for that, and follow our blog, follow our podcast, and our weekly email. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.